Hello, it's Sonia here, the Pretty Stitch. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time joining me, I'm so happy to have you here. So today is Tuesday, and that means it's Tunisian Tuesday, where we feature either a stitch pattern or a project. And today we are doing a stitch pattern. And to do this, I'm using my H-Hooker 5mm hook. And again, I'm not at my usual filming area as I still have guests and my filming area doubles as a guest room. So we are making do, and I don't have my usual lighting. I will be able to do the regular intro because last week I wasn't able to, but yeah, we're just making do right now. So hopefully it'll be all right. Okay, so for this particular stitch pattern, you're going to need to chain a multiple of 3 and then add 2. So I went ahead and chained 17. I will show you a clip on how to get started on row 1. That is our foundation row. Okay, so row 1 is our setup row in the second chain from our hook. I like to work in the back bump of my chain. I am going to pull up loops. Now you don't have to work in the back bump, that's just my preferred method. And if you've never done Tunisian crochet before, I do have a playlist that goes over the basics plus other stitch pattern tutorials and projects as well. So I'll place that link in the description box if you want to check that out. So Tunisian crochet is always worked in 2 parts. Each row is worked in 2 parts. So we are doing row 1. So the first part of row 1, called the forward pass, we are putting our stitches on our hook. And then the second part of row 1 will be called the return pass, where we will take the stitches off our hook and each part equals 1 row. Okay, so I have my loops on my hook, and the amount that I chained will be the amount that is on my hook. So I have 17 loops because I chained 17. So let's work the second part of row 1. We're going to yarn over, pull through 1 loop, and yarn over and pull through 2 for the rest of the row. Okay, so there we go. There is row 1. All right, so here is row 1 complete. And again, this is our setup row, our foundation row. So now we're going to work on row 2. So row 2 is the repeat. So this is just a 1 row repeat for this entire swatch. So what we're going to do is we're going to work Tunisian simple decrease, but we're going to do it a little bit differently. So we're going to insert our hook in that first vertical bar. We're going to skip over the next one and go into the third one. So you want to think of it in groups of 3. And then we're going to work the Tunisian simple decrease or together stitch like that. Now what we're going to do is we are going to chain 1. So what we're going to do next is in that chain right here, we're going to insert our hook. But before we do that, we are going to yarn over, and now we're going to insert our hook in that chain and pull up a loop. So now we're back to the right amount of stitches, and we're going to repeat that. So we're going to work Tunisian simple decrease, so insert in the next, skip that middle one, and then insert in the third. Yarn over, pull up our loop, chain 1, yarn over, now and back in that chain, pull up a loop, and we're repeating. Alright, so we are at the end of our row, and now we're going to work in that stitch that looks like a chain at the end. And I'm sorry I did not say what kind of yarn I'm using. I'm just using worsted weight number 4 yarn, just some scrap yarn that I have in my stash. So whatever we chained that is the amount of loops you're going to have on your hook. So I chained 17, so I have 17 loops on my hook. If you chained a different number, let's say you chained 14 because that is a multiple of 3 and adding 2, you would have 14 loops on your hook. So let's work these off. So we're going to do our return pass. So yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2 for the rest of the row. So what you're going to do is you are just going to be repeating row 2 for however long you want your swatch. And then we'll work our bind off row. So this is a nice quick stitch pattern, I think. There's not a lot of steps involved, which is nice. And it does create a very cool textured fabric, which I really like. It curls a little bit, but not too bad. So again, just repeat row 2. Okay, so here is my swatch. I think this is a really pretty stitch. It is a little bit stretchy, which is nice. And I worked 10 rows. So now we're going to do our bind off row, which is just finishing off our work. And we're going to bind off in Tunisian simple. So to do that, I always say it's a combination of Tunisian crochet and regular crochet. So I am pulling up a loop like I'm working a Tunisian simple stitch, and then I'm going to continue to pull through working a slip stitch in regular crochet to bind off our work. And as I said before, it just gives it a finished look, and we're doing it all the way across. So in each vertical bar, so we are not skipping any like we did when we were doing this particular stitch pattern. And we can't forget to work in our last stitch. That looks like chain. And there we go. And it does curl a little bit, but not too bad. But I do think it is a very pretty stitch. I think it would be nice in a variety of projects like blankets, scarves, hats, maybe even like a fun sweater. I think you could do a lot of things with this particular stitch. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.